Nice. We're live again. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Many such cases. I had a really good lunch. I was doing coursework also during lunch, which is, I don't know, depending on your interpretation of how you should balance your mental health, it could be not great, you know? But I got that stuff done. I had my lunch. Chicken and potatoes. It was good. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, that's right. I got killed by a Wobbuffet, and I'm in the middle of grinding to try to get to the next gym. And also to get to the Elite Four, because that was a thing. That's a challenge that I'm trying to do. This bag is full, eh? What's up, dude? Get out of here, giraffe rig. Sable, you too. Don't care much for you. Another item up here. Max repels wave and senses. Yeah, not probably, probably not things that I really need, but yeah. Oh, that's right. I do want to see who all is available. So far we got... What was that? Gardevoir. I might do well to catch a Gardevoir. And who else? Who's the last one? Mr. Mime. Okay, yeah. That's really bad nature. I'll be real. I think Modest would be a better... Hypnosis? Sure. It beats Imprison. Alright, let's move on. Jolly Mints. That could be useful, but I don't care for it right now, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't think I really want that bad enough. Head. Level balls. Are any trainers here? Doesn't look like it. Okay, let me pull up the list. It's been a couple minutes. I'm trying to come a little bit more prepared with the stuff I wanted to talk about. And of course, I still have stuff to do today that isn't this, that isn't streaming. So far, I'm about 3/4 of the way through lesson 2 on my coursework. I started recently... I started a certification course, or like a, training course for IT certification. So that's what I've been doing yesterday and today that has me tired. It's only a couple hours per day that I've been doing it, but it's in the morning, and it's like, it's just a lot. I've been taking a lot of notes. There's 9 lessons, and I'm almost done with lesson 2 already. I'm only a couple days in. That might be part of why I'm getting so tired over this, but I think it's important to get through it in an expedient, if steady fashion, because then I will get to, like, get to the part of, with, like, studying and doing the exam and stuff quickly. Got move tutor, move deleter. Oh, wait, egg move tutor. Gardevoir, what do you got? Not a ton. Oh, God damn it. You're gonna hear me yawning a lot. Ooh. Oh, that's perfect. What else we got? Not a ton. Okay. Good. Oh, do I need hold items? I might do well to give people some hold items. What can Gardevoir have? Give that to you, right? Probably. It's probably a decent enough item to have. I'll give you a citrus berry, because why not? You just need to be fast as hell. That's what you need. Alright. What do we got? Let's do the funny thing. 1v3 posted this on Discord. So I gotta take a look at it. So the Olympics are coming up. This summer, there's gonna be the Summer Olympics. And CBS, stop playing video automatically. Okay, thank you. Parisians threatened to poop in the Seine, the Seine River, to protest sewage contamination ahead of Paris 2024 Summer Olympics. Truly the gamer move of all time. If you know, yeah. I'm gonna give the gist of what's been going on, and then I'll read the article. So the gist of this is incredibly funny, and also like actually smart by French people here. The Seine River is already fucking filthy, right? That part is well known by anybody who lives in France. So it's been a political fight from people for a long time to clean it up. However, the government clearly doesn't care. And they haven't cared ever. But now that the Olympics are happening in Paris, they decided to clean up the river. Specifically for the Olympics. Not because it's good to have clean water, but because they want the city to be aesthetic for when the Olympics come through. The Olympics bring with it kind of the worst consequences of colonialism and tourism, even in developed countries. Anywhere the Olympics goes, economic disaster follows. Massive price increases, evictions, purges of the homeless, and things like that. Not like literal shooting purges, but like clearing homeless encampments and displacing the poorest and most vulnerable people in the city. That's frequently what accompanies the Olympics. So this is in protest to that. It's like, yeah, we're cleaning up the river, not because we give a shit about you. You guys can go fuck off. You know, fuck your living standards. You don't get clean water. But because we need the Olympics to have some clean water. We need to look nice and presentable for the international community here. Yeah. So I think this is a very, very intelligent move, as crude as it might initially seem to those who are inclined to clutch pearls over the mention of poopy. Yeah. The 2024 Paris Summer Olympics are just a month away, but there's still a nasty controversy, a very nice choice of words, CBS, thank you, brewing over one of the sports serving as a focal point for the event, the Seine River. After months of tests showing high levels of bacteria from sewage and wastewater, residents fed up with the river pollution just weeks before the Olympic athletes are set to dive are threatening to stage a mass defecation in protest. And this is an example of accelerationism that actually works, because what they're trying to do is generate a massive fuss over the issue, such that it has to be considered even outside the context of the Olympics, right? You know, if this protest didn't happen, then what, you know, under normal circumstances, what would happen is government comes in, private agencies come in, and whatever, whoever's setting up the Olympics events, they clear out all the homeless people, they displace a bunch of poor people, they build the stadium, they clean up the area for like a month while the Olympics are happening, and then they leave it to rot forever after. Seriously, there are entire neighborhoods in cities that have hosted the Olympics that have been fucking decimated by the Olympics having been there. I don't know if anybody was conscious of the Olympics, you know, was conscious of the Olympics in 2014. The Sochi Winter Olympics in Russia. I remember watching that and I was like, wow, this place looks really cool. And then I remember seeing photos of Sochi after the Olympics, and none of it was maintained. In fact, I saw a lot of photos after that Olympic series. It kind of drew me down a rabbit hole. I looked up photos of other Olympic stadiums and Olympic venues after the Olympics had already come and gone, you know, like 10, 20-ish years after the fact, and they looked like fucking Chernobyl exclusion zones, like overgrown, rusted, abandoned, you know, not a good fate for a city to succumb to. Or even in, you know, in the case of Paris, the whole city's not going to succumb to that because it's a giant city, but like whatever neighborhood this Olympic stadium and the Olympics gets plopped down in is going to suffer massively. So I think it's justifiable, perfectly justifiable for French people to be taking a giant shit in the river in protest of this, because it makes the government look bad, and that generates negative press towards the Olympics, you know? A website has appeared using the viral hashtag Je suis dans la Seine le 23 juin. I shit in the Seine on the 23rd of June. Yeah. A Google search for the phrase directs people to the website represented by a poop emoji on the search engine. The site repeats the phrase and aims to taunt squarely at French President Emmanuel Macron and Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo, who have both vowed to go for a swim before the games to prove that the Seine is safe. This is a particularly effective middle finger to those two people in particular, I will certainly say. I'm gonna have Bar out front, I think. What up? My name is 70k channel points. What's up, 70k channel points? Welcome to the chat. I mean 1v3. Yeah, welcome. Welcome back. Just talking about the pooping in the river. Because after putting us in shit, it's up to them to bathe in our shit, the website declares. It also features a calculator that lets users input how far they live from central Paris and calculates when they would need to take a shit in the river for the waste to end up in the heart of the capital at noon on June 23rd. Dude, they're not fucking around on this one. They are serious. That's so hilarious. French rock. They do, unironically, because, like, the fucking, obviously the Paris government, the French government, has let the city of Paris rot, right? Like, neoliberal rot runs deep, and there's literally garbage and poop in the river already. They've let it fester, and then now that the Olympics are coming, they're like, okay, suddenly we care about it because, you know, we want to look good, we want to get all that nice sponsor money and stuff like that. And of course it's going to displace like thousands and thousands of people to set up this stadium, to set up Olympic facilities. So the French people are like, now hang on, fuck you. You don't get to do that. We're going to take a massive shit in the river. So you have to suffer as well. You know, we're not going to just suffer in silence over this. And honestly, I think that, like, that's just fucking based. That's based of them to do, because the Olympics needs to well, die, perish even. You know, obviously in concept it's fine to have international sports competition, whatever, but the Olympics is an absolute plague on any city or any country that it visits. You know, nothing good comes of the Olympics being held in a certain city. You know, entire towns have gone to waste because of Olympic stadiums that, like, were never maintained after the fact. Local news outlet Actu Paris said the protest grew out of a joke after Hidalgo and other officials pledged at the end of May to make the river swimmable in time for open water events during the summer games. So it's like, transparently, we only care about the games here. Recent tests found it still had alarming levels of bacteria. According to Actu Paris, a computer engineer was behind the viral protest idea, and he seems unsure how much actual action it will prompt on Sunday. Oh, there's gonna be action. Don't you fucking doubt that for a second. You know, this is the French we're talking about. They go hard. At the beginning, the objective was to make a joke, is a quote. By bouncing off this ironic hashtag, the anonymous instigator was quoted as telling the outlet. In the end, are people really going to shit in the Seine or set up militant actions? Nothing is excluded. Pollution in the Seine has been a major point of contention in the run-up to the Olympics. The French government has spent nearly $1.5 billion already trying to clean up the river enough to make it swimmable, even as wet weather has complicated efforts. Officials announced on Friday that test results from mid-June shows levels of E. coli and Enterococci bacteria in the river, although Axios reported Paris region official Marc Guillaume expressed confidence the event set for the river would go forward as planned. So there's still bacteria in the river, but they're like, nah, we're gonna do it anyway. Truly the French moment of all time. You know. Armory? Yeah, get him out of here. What are you switching out for? You switched. You did this. God damn it. No, it has Moxie. I might be fucked. Ow. Holy shit. Yeah, of course. Nah, I'm starting over. I need to fucking figure that shit out. Alright. All the horrible things that happen in the questionable countries which turn to wastelands, the fact that it has sports with horses, nah, that's so bad. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure what you mean, but I probably, if you could elaborate, I probably would agree with the underlying sentiment. In May, the Surfrider charity conducted tests that found contaminants at levels higher than are allowed by sports federations, with one reading at Paris' iconic Alexandre Bridge showing levels 3 times higher than the maximum permitted by Triathlon and Open Water Swimming Federation. Agents during the first 8 days of June showed continued, or not agents, tests during the first 8 days of June showed continued contamination. Yeah, there's outlining E. coli and Enterococci are the poopy bacteria. They're not good. And the French officials are like, don't worry, we're still going to swim in the river. This is like the whole thing, or yeah, well, I mean, I just don't know what you meant by that. It's okay if it's mucho texto. I mean, I'm accustomed to reading mucho texto. Based Frenchy defecation protest. This is an interesting opportunity for people to develop some sort of political or class consciousness over this. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that are aware of this in particular and probably are going to have the correct take on it that, like, fuck the French government. You know, like, yeah, taking a shit sounds gross to most people, right? But, like, the river's got like had shit in it for years. Like the river's been dirty for years, and the government hasn't been willing to commit any money to clean it up, despite people wanting it to be cleaned up because it's the river. That's like rivers are where people get their drinking water from. I don't know if that's definitively the source of drinking water for Paris. Let me look it up. Yeah, the Seine and the Marne are two rivers that are sources of drinking water. Obviously, the water gets treated, but like, you know, not having clean water is pretty bad. Uh, Especially because people who don't have as much money are going to get more contaminated water, such is the case with making stuff like that a sort of pay to access thing. Uh, Look, the gist of it is the French government didn't care about environmental concerns until it affected their international reputation, and people saw that, and they realized, like, look, the French government didn't give a shit about us having clean water outside of the Olympics, and they still don't give a shit about us having clean water. They just want to clean it up so people can swim in it for the Olympics and then go back to not caring. So we're going to take a giant shit in the river so they don't get to have their cake and eat it too, essentially. You know, that's kind of what they're trying to do. Like, the French government is more or less like, we want to have this be clean enough for the Olympics and also ignore it when this is all said and done. And people are like, nah, you don't get to do that. You know, you can have the cake or you can eat it. You can leave the shit to fester, or you can clean it up. You can't do one and then just go right back to having the other. Like, you clean the shit up, you better clean it up for good. What the fuck? Why does he have earthquake? Fuck you. I'm starting over again. Okay. Fucking hell. Get out of here. At least only one Pokemon fainted. There's a full rest stop down there. I think I gotta go for it. Yeah. Wait, shit. I could have gone that way. Damn it. Ah, I'm gonna do this again. Son of a... whatever. Charizard. Do I even have anybody that's good against that? I don't. I don't have a water type. I do have this guy. Alright, you're gonna have to get out of here, Gligar. You done me good. That's for sure. Well, I do have a nice type, so it'd get you out of here. Alright, okay, full rest stop. Let me take a second to survey the surroundings here. I could go that way. I could skip one of these, or I could just do this, which I think I will. Let's yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add to people whooping in the Seine. I wish I could do it with them, because, you know, fuck Macron and the French government. This is all being motivated, of course, by the interests of private capital. Like, that's how governments make their decisions. Like, liberal governments, or really any governments on Earth right now, make their decisions based primarily on the interests of private capital. And most of the time that runs up against the interests of society at large, right? So it's up to people to push as hard as they can to make the government do something good for fucking once. An example of the first thing would be like how cities that are built like hotels for everyone aren't used after by anyone turn into zombie apocalypse looking city. Yep, that's right. I mentioned this, I think, before you joined. I mentioned this with Sochi in Russia, the city that hosted the Winter Olympics in 2014. I remember seeing it. It looked so pristine, but then I saw photos afterwards of Sochi and other cities that had hosted the Olympics, and they were in absolute disrepair, like you said, like out of a zombie apocalypse. Or how China hosted it, it would make sense to not give them the free advertising, the beautiful lands of China, by having the Olympics on TV, but we don't care about the poor Uyghurs. I mean, every country does shitty things, and yeah, the Olympics are definitely an opportunity for like some nationalistic chest beating for sure. That I've never been a fan of that. I think the most cringy example, looking back on it, is I think London, the London Olympics when they did that. China, you almost kind of expect them to do that because it's, you know, all that. Olympics too big to not be showed on the Dutch TV, and horse sports are obviously just dog poo. Yeah, I don't like horse sports. Horse sports are fucking sports for wealthy people. It's like, it's the most detached from any, like, for fun shit that you could imagine, because they're all like, all these people are way too mentally ill and alienated to be having any fun, you know. At least the wealthy demographic, that is, that would like participate in those horse sports. Yeah. Yeah, nationalism and draining an entire city of life are two things that are really, really bad about the Olympics. Um, the nationalism, not so much, because countries just do that anyway. Um, you know, the UK and the US and China and France and whoever hosts the Olympics, even outside of the Olympics, are going to be, they have news stations that are amicable to their national interests and whatever, and they're going to be doing propaganda for those countries regardless. But the big thing, I think, is just the economic destruction that Olympic stadiums and Olympic towns produce, right? Because they're not maintained after the fact, and also the kind of shit that governments do to make sure those Olympic stadiums and facilities get set up. It involves like what, forcing homeless people out of the city, forcing like people to be evicted from their apartments and stuff. A lot of the times, I remember that was a controversy with the 2022 Olympics in particular. That's the one I remember, at least. I'm sure it's happened with way more of them. Uh, so yeah, I agree. With some small edge notes on the side. So this has been the I fucking hate the Olympics, and kudos to French people bit. I don't know if that's gonna be a segment. If it is, you know, cut it here. Who knows, really? I've got stuff on the back burner right now, and I'm gonna probably have a diminished capacity for video editing, given that I'm doing coursework for an IT certification also. Do I care about stored power? It adds plus 20 for every stat increase, which means that if I calm minded twice, that would be plus 80, so this would be 100, 100. And also the calm mind boost. You know what? I'll forget hypnosis. Sky uppercut. Oh, I love that move. Stardust. Let's have Sneasel out front. Because he's fast. Oh boy, a trainer. Nice. Gyro ball. No, I don't care that much about that. Ledian, use Ice Shard. Easy. Pidgeot, Ice Punch, easy. Okay. Level cap is 65, I think. And a lot of items that would be good for me having money, but Flare Blitz? Nah, I don't. That one horse. We don't have other pets do sports as we should. Ignoring dog shows, which is even worse. Bugby was fun, but good we stopped. Stopped at Judo. Good it died out. But for real, horses get killed sometimes after they make like one mistake when they break their leg, dying for something you didn't ask to do. Yeah, the use of animals for sports can be pretty fucking inhumane, especially with horse races and stuff. It's like and polo, like horseback polo. It's really fucking bad. Yeah. Wait, what Pokemon was that even? Charizard. I actually don't have an answer for that. This is the best I can do. Okay, well. I need a water type. If there's a Sharpedo or like Crawdaunt here, I would be pretty happy. Dude. Okay. What is this? Primate. Staying for that. This is really... These teams are like really out of pocket. Brick Break. Okay. I didn't find out which Pokemon were here. Nuzleaf, obviously. Scyther. Crobat, and who else? Ledium. Okay. Average, typical, or calm course. I think I'll go calm course route. Break. All that. Marowak? No, okay. Piloswine. Yeah. Need to find a water type. That's what I gotta do. I didn't want to sail through that, just like this. I want to go back this way. Yeah. Again, I don't have an answer for this. Not a good one anyways. Yeah. No item there, of course. Let's see. Okay. Oh, right, there's more down here. Any items? Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, no. Okay, so I think I remember the calm routes typically have more Pokemon and less of other stuff. Alright, full rest stop. Heal me up. Thank you. What else we got? Okay, so just the first, second, and third gyms, which would be rock, fighting, and electric. In any of the three cases, I should have Roselia out first. Move tutors, some other stuff. I could buy some medicine. In fact, that would be a good idea. I still want to talk about another thing. Alright, I saw this recently. This is one of the only exceptions. I don't like talking about AI because I fucking hate it so much. But this is notable for actually, this goes to further substantiate some of my arguments about AI, that it only is used to do the same things that we could already do perfectly well, but worse, and for like way more inefficient, and in a way that costs people their jobs, right? Like the fucking Google, how many rocks should I eat per day? Usually you should eat one small rock per day. You know, that kind of AI shit. Evidently, let's see. I believe this is sourced from a Jacobin magazine article, so I'm gonna check that. But it was a tweet that I saw this in. Hidden environmental impact of AI. This is from Jacobin, and then I also have a Washington Post article about this as well. Where's this quote? Each time you search for something like how many rocks should I eat, and Google's AI snapshot tells you at least one small rock per day, you're consuming approximately 3 watt-hours of electricity, according to Alex DeVry, the founder of Digiconomist, a research company exploring the unintended consequence of digital trends, or the unintended consequences, plural. And to be more accurate, that's not you consuming that energy. All you did was do a Google search, right? Which under normal circumstances would not consume that much. It's the AI that is consuming 3 watt hours per query, which is a fucking lot, given that a query is like 2 seconds, right? And as the implications of this are pretty fucking staggering. Yeah, here, look, that's 10 times the power consumption of a traditional Google search. Why do a regular Google search to find the answer that you want when you could do an AI search at the same speed but worse, giving you the wrong answers and consuming 10 times as much energy? Roughly equivalent to the amount of power used when talking for an hour on a home phone. Collectively, De Vries calculates that adding AI-generated answers to all Google searches could easily consume as much electricity as the country of Ireland. Holy shit. And they have a chart as well. Actually, let me show this. This is from the lever. This chart here. Energy used to power online searches. Watt hours per request. Google search, way down here. Not even 1 watt hour per search. Probably like 0.0 something. ChatGPT, 3 watt hours per search. Bloom, 4 watt hours per search. AI powered Google search. New State Research, presumably. Oh, this is the source. 7 watt hours per search. And then the AI powered Google search from semi-analysis shows 9 watt hours per search. This is gonna fucking destroy the global power infrastructure. Like, AI needs to be put in a goddamn bottle and quick. You know, this is the biggest problem with like AI massively outstripping the capacity and willingness of governments to regulate it, is that it's just going to destroy the whole power grid. Or this is one of the consequences, I should say. There are other consequences. Data centers are rapidly outgrowing the electrical grid while keeping dirty sources of power like coal plants operating. Yeah, because they need something quick and cheap that can actually supply the power to data centers that rely heavily on AI, which inevitably mass produce the wrong answers to certain queries. Let me go to the Washington Post article now, instead of this Jacobin magazine thing. AI is exhausting the power grid. Tech firms are seeking a miracle solution. Here's one for you. Don't use AI. Instant 90% power consumption decrease. As power needs of AI push emissions up and put big tech in a bind, companies put their faith in elusive, some say improbable technologies. Dog, just don't fucking use it. It's not that hard. You can do the same thing, but easier and more accurate, but you would still have to pay people, I guess. So that's like, it's probably a motivating factor here for companies to want to use AI, because they don't have to pay anybody to work for them. Or they're just fucking high off their own hype. You know, a lot of people are just high off their own hype for this stuff. And of course, since it's Washington Post, they're obviously looking at this from the perspective of business owners and don't give two shits about the world power grid collapsing on its own. They only care because, like, how will this affect the business interests? The mighty Columbia River has helped power the American West with hydroelectricity since FDR's New Deal. But artificial intelligence demands more, much more. Atomic fusion. Great, thank you. Literally looking for power sources that don't exist yet on Earth to power AI, which does things that we already had no problem doing, but worse. Fusion by 2028. Yeah, very, very, very promising big tech. You know, big tech definitely, known for making promises that it can deliver on famously. You know, never once has there been a project that they announced and then didn't follow through on or couldn't complete. Yeah, not a single one. Definitely don't go looking for examples of that. Jesus Christ, dude. Let me see if there's any actually interesting shit in this article. Oh, yeah. Data centers are becoming a really big thing. Ever since the data farming and data mining and data scraping economy became a thing, data centers are now also a thing to store all of that data in a hub, right? And so this has led to a lot of data centers popping up, especially as they start relying on AI more and more to do this scraping. And it's like a tumor consuming electricity to no end, right? Yeah, look at this. One large data center complex in Iowa, owned by Meta, burns, and this is Iowa, random fucking state in the Midwest. Not that many people live here. Burns the annual equivalent amount of power as 7 million laptops running 8 hours every day, based on data shared publicly by the company. And that's just what they're prepared to share publicly. Of course, this is a puff. Why the fuck do I ever go to the Washington Times? This is just a puff piece for tech CEOs who created the problem in the first place. And now they're like, they're taking the problem head on, proposing bold new solutions like nuclear fusion, instead of the obvious answer, which is to stop using AI. This is like the end state of enshittification, right? Google search used to actually be good, believe it or not. But then they started adding sponsored results and ads and all sorts of stuff. And you know, they started doing the data scraping. And with the prominence of AI, you started getting AI written articles, you know, the AI slop content. You started getting the like Google's proprietary AI that they're incorporating into the search engine itself. And that consumes a shitload of power. It makes Google a good bit of money, at least before the power infrastructure all collapses. But, like, where the fuck does that leave everybody else? You know? I'm gonna go through to the next gym later. I didn't even buy anything. Who we got? Watson. Okay. Alright. I'm probably in trouble here. Yeah. Well, maybe not. I could just spam acrobatics now that I've... Well, maybe not. God damn it. Blaziken, save me. Fuck. Fuck! I hate this fucking gym system. Get me out of here, dude. Fuck you, Winston. I only have 3 Pokemon. Yeah, get me out of here, dude. I'm probably not going to be able to stream for very long today. I think I want to stream something different next time instead of this. Like, this game is cool and all. But yeah, it's not great for content purposes. Yeah, dude, this AI, this explosion of data centers and AI is actually sabotaging green energy infrastructure. Look, where is it? It's in one of these paragraphs. This region, let's see, where is this? Near Salt Lake City? Yeah, in the Salt Lake City region, utility executives and lawmakers scaled back plans for big investments in clean energy and doubled down on coal. The retirement of the large coal plant has been pushed back a decade to 2042, and the closure of another has been delayed to 2036 because they need to fucking they need to have this electricity for their AI shit. Among the region's biggest like mega energy users is Meta. It's building a $1.5 billion data center campus outside Salt Lake City that consumes as much power as can be generated by a large nuclear reactor. Do you guys understand how much fucking electricity that is? How many nuclear reactors are there in Ukraine? Nuclear power in Ukraine from the World Nuclear Association. Thank you. I would like to know that. So there are 15 operable reactors in Ukraine. There are 2 reactors under construction. There are 4 reactors that have been shut down, which is a total of 21. There are 21 reactors for the entirety of Ukraine, nuclear reactors. How much does one of these nuclear reactors produce, I wonder? Per capita consumption, about 2,700 kilowatt hours in 2021. So for an entire country, there are 21 nuclear reactors. How much, let's see. How much energy does a nuclear power plant produce? 1 gigawatt from the Department of Energy. And that's enough for what? An entire city, probably? Gotta be a lot. Here, hold on. How many cities can a nuclear power plant power? Infographic. How much power does a nuclear reactor produce? All right. Great, thank you. This is just a diagram of cars and horses. I don't know what I expected from the United States Department of Energy. Uh, you know what? Actually, we can do the math on this. How many cities in Ukraine? There we go. Ukraine is home to 461 cities. List of cities in Ukraine. And let's see. Few selected under 100,000. All the cities that are on this map are at least 100,000 people. With, I think, 1 or 2 less than 100,000. And there's 21 nuclear reactors that power those. And this article is saying that this single data center, one data center, is going to consume as much energy as can be generated by a large nuclear reactor. Google has purchased 300 acres across the street from Meta's data center and has plans for its own data center campus. Other data center developers are frantically searching for power in the area. Yeah, no shit, because using AI is consuming all that power at literally unprecedented speeds. Oh my fucking god. Dude. Dude, the energy infrastructure is fucking cooked if AI doesn't, like, get BTFO'd by regulations really, really fucking quick. The region was supposed to be a breakthrough technology launchpad with utility Pacific Corp declaring it would aim to replace coal infrastructure with next-generation small nuclear plants built by a company that Bill Gates chairs. But that plan was put on the shelf when Pacific Corp announced in April that it will prolong coal burning, citing regulatory developments that make it viable. That being the use of data centers that rely heavily on AI. Is very quickly becoming an issue of don't get left behind locking down the power you need. You can figure out climate issues later. Dude, this is fucking sabotaging the AI arms race, as they literally call it, is sabotaging the entire like green energy efforts that people have been mobilizing around for decades. A spike in tech-related energy needs in Georgia, the state, not the country, moved regulators in April to greenlight an expansion of fossil fuel use, including purchasing power from Mississippi that will delay closure of a half-century-old coal plant there. In the suburbs of Milwaukee, Microsoft's announcement in March that is building a $3.3 billion data center campus followed the local utility pushing back by 1 year the retirement of coal units and unveiling plans for a vast expansion of gas power that regional energy executives say is necessary to stabilize the grid amid soaring data center demand and other growth. Dog, we're so cooked. I don't even know how else to put it. We are so fucking cooked. It is Jover. Like, more than even, like, more than a lot of things. You know, fascist politicians being in charge of a country will wreck that country. Make no mistake. Thatcher did untold damage to the United Kingdom. Trump would do untold damage to the United States, him and the Republican Party. Orban has done unspeakable shit in Hungary, right? But those countries still exist as countries, right? Like, there's still power infrastructure. You turn on your computer and it fucking works. What's more fascist than Joe's genocide? Well, a few things. Genocide +1, for instance. This would literally be worse than all of that. I don't know, like, for in developed world terms, obviously. This is so bad. This whole article is a bunch of CEOs patting themselves on the back and jerking each other off about how bold they're being with technology solutions and finding new power sources and whatever, when the entire fucking reason that we need new power sources in the first place is because of those quote-unquote technology solutions that aren't solutions for anything. There was no problem. You know, the enshittification cycle that I was talking about, where you have solved the problem, but the problem being solved doesn't get you any money? That's what this is. AI was a solution in search of creating a new problem so that they could make more money off of it. At least the AI, like the Google search engine AI and all the data scraping shit, that wasn't a problem that needed solving or anything. That was just money that they wanted to make. There was no problem there to be solved. And now they're consuming 10 times the amount of power that they would have otherwise. 10 times the amount of power. And these are already like multinational corporations who have a disproportionately high power consumption, even without this AI stuff. God damn. This is why you have to have such a fucking strong regulatory state. This is why you need to crack the fuck down on corporations, especially when they're using something that has had like recent developments, because all they're going to do is just wreck shit. That's all they know how to do. Like, it's a what is it, like grift economy or something? There's almost no new markets to tap into for real services, right? A lot of things have reached market saturation that are real products and real services. So you have to make some shit up that's almost purely extractive, and that's what this is. This is just one example of that. You know, data scraping, using AI to dictate search results, all that does is extract wealth from other sources. It like extracts wealth from personal data. It extracts wealth from people by like manipulating search results and manipulating the prices on certain shopping outlets and stuff like that. All for the low price of destroying the entire power grid. God damn. Wait, I should go this way, because I need a water type. God damn. The reason I brought up fascism, too, is just to illustrate how destructive this is, that it makes, in a lot of ways, it makes fascism look like chump change. At least modern fascism. If we want to talk about Mao in China and like Hitler in Germany and the fascist movements that actually succeeded in doing insane like genocidal shit, then there's a discussion to be had. But the modern far right could only have wet dreams of this level of destruction. Right? Like the far right in the US, with all the power they've enjoyed in states to like strip away regulations, have like haven't even come close to this. Think about how shit of a state in that Texas's power grid is in. Texas has its own power grid, and it's all privatized thanks to the right wing. Thank you, far right politicians. Very cool. And that's like not even close to how bad like the massive spike in data center usage with AI would be, or is right now. How much power does New York City use? How much power does NYC consume? About 5,500 megawatts of power. What unit of time is this? Is this like per day? Is it per week? On average. Great, cool. You've given me the number. You didn't tell me what, like, unit of time that number pertains to. The summer, as New Yorkers turn on their air conditioner, citywide demand can increase as much as 10,000 megawatts. 10,000 megawatts is only 10 gigawatts. That's at the height of power consumption, the largest city in the United States of America in the summer when you need the most electricity for cooling systems only draws 10 times as much power as a single data center in the middle of buttfuck nowhere in the Midwest. And this article mentioned at least half a dozen of those. Here, hold on. Per year. Per day. No, fuck. I didn't mean to full screen. I'll show why. Yeah, I'm anxious to see. Annually. Monthly. Fucking... yearly. Okay, so that 10,000 number is daily. Gotcha. And then this, I believe that number is also daily for the data center. Here, nuclear. Here, hold on. As much power as can be generated by a large nuclear reactor, and I'm assuming this is daily and like or something. Look, it's real bad. It's real bad, guys. People in the replies to this one tweeter are linking some articles. This was actually the Lever article about AI using as much power as the whole fucking country of Ireland, which is not great. Yeah, here we go from Bloomberg. AI is wreaking havoc on global power systems. This is Bloomberg, so I can't read the article because Bloomberg locks it behind a subscription. I'll just read the tweet, which quotes the article. The almost overnight surge in electricity demand from data centers is now outstripping the available power supply in many parts of the world. There you have it. Fucking hell. Somebody's saying at least the Captain Planet villains ran factories that actually did something. That's so true. God damn. I don't know if I want a Zoom rule. I do definitely want Flygon. I'm gonna be sitting here for a while. Trying to catch this goddamn Flygon. Ah, and never mind. Maybe not that long. What do you got? That's perfectly fine. I like that in nature. Octillery. Do I care that much about that? Maybe? Maybe not. We'll see what else they have, and then I'll decide what Pokemon I want to catch. Whiscash. Salamence? Fuck it, I'm catching Salamence. It's just too cool to not have. What nature we got? Defense up, speed down. Pretty not good. I'm gonna instead give you a... maybe a Rash Mint or something? Do I have an Adamant Mint? I don't know if I do. No. Okay, so Rash Mint, probably? Or Naughty. No, yeah, Naughty Mint. There we go. Attack up, special defense down. Perfect. And I will catch... a Zoomerl, I think. That would be good. Not gonna nickname you. I'd probably want to... do I want to give you a Naughty Mint? Give you a Naughty Mint. Why not? Yeah. Let's level everybody up. No, do not learn Double Edge, please. What moves do you have? Dragon Rush. Okay. These moves aren't the greatest, but I can fix that. But yeah, anyways, fuck AI. It's consuming the power of an entire country. It is outstripping the ability of the world's power infrastructure to supply electricity. That shit needs to be clamped down on by regulators really fucking quick. Otherwise, nothing good will come of it. You know, in addition to all the shit I mentioned about AI doing the same thing but worse, and with more wrong answers than we could already do just as easily, and you know, taking people's jobs in the process, automating things that we don't want to be automated, such as art. It is also sinking the entire global energy infrastructure with it. So truly a technological victory for our time. We can destroy ourselves even faster and concentrate wealth in the hands of the capital class even faster, recreate the world of Fallout even faster, this time without even needing nuclear weapons to do it. All the while, sabotaging climate objectives. Great job, team. If that's a segment, future me, cut it there. Maybe. Unless if 1v3, if you have that thing that you were saying gives you deja vu. Otherwise, yeah. Cut it there. It is not good. What is that tree? TM for dig? That's pretty cool. Agua berries. Lepa berries. Lepa berries will be useful. Sure. What's up? Ow. Wait, was that the super effective noise? I hope it wasn't. I sincerely hope it wasn't. Was? Kadabra. Okay. For a second, I misread that as something else. I don't know what. No, it's Ground Dragon. Okay. Finally found it? Okay. Let's see it. Ah, I have not fought this person yet. Okay. Wailord. I'll stand for that. Metagross? Well, switch out for that. Well, you do have flamethrowers, so... Sure. Lantern. Yeah. That's a lot of attack stat. That's pretty good. What you up to? Ow. Full rest up. I need that. Yes. Okay, healed up. I need to... Yes. Okay, TM shop. They don't have Dragon Claw. I'm pissed. They also don't have Earthquake. I'm pissed times 2. I'll just use Dig on Flygon. Get Sandstorm. And learn Brick Break. Also, you can't. Okay. Alright. Both of you learn Fly. That'll be great. Kind of the same. On Discord. Okay, thank you. Yes. Oh, perfect. This is gonna be... This is, content. That's what this is. Let's open this on up. Wait. This is definitely copyrighted. I just realized. I don't want to get BTFO'd for, like, copyright or something. So I will... Here's what I'll do. I will mute the desktop audio so you guys can't hear this, but I will be able to hear it. So I will watch it with the English subtitles. Okay. It's talking about them opening a wind farm? It's Dutch anyways. Who wants to talk Dutch? Well, I mean, look, that's not what I'm concerned with, really. Okay. 82 windmills of 180 meters high each. That's pretty good. Okay, now let's see the catch. Farm produces energy equivalent to the usage of 370,000 households. That sounds like a pretty good electricity farm. You know how many? Ah, here we go. How many households will they deliver electricity for? 0. Oh boy. What? Oh. Can you stop? Okay, he showed the fucking Cardi B wet ass pussy for some reason. I don't know. Ah, okay. He's talking about cloud storage? I know this is going somewhere. Oh no. They're building a data center the size of 40 soccer fields that this wind farm is going to specifically be for. Wow. That's pretty bad. Yeah, data centers. Fucking hell, dude. Entirely filled with servers, hard drives, and all that shit. And if, yeah, I didn't know the Netherlands was a tax haven. I thought that was like just Ireland and like Luxembourg and shit. But yeah, okay, that explains why data centers are being set up in the Netherlands. Yeah. Plus no war, no natural disasters, stable government. Stable is a relative term, you see. You know, government collapsing every now and again. But you know, if fucking right wing parties get in power, the one thing that right wing parties are likely to do, if they do anything in power, is to give way more leeway for corporations to do whatever the fuck they want, to give them corporate handouts and to do more privatization, which would benefit the companies that are looking to build data centers like this. So maybe that's what they're angling towards. And then obviously the main thing is the tax incentives. This was back around 2018. Yeah, this video is dated 2020. Oh, this was back when they still pretended to care about renewable energy. This was before they started actively sabotaging those goals, or like their own goals, I should say. Google and Meta and Microsoft and whatever are massive parts of, excuse me, are massive parts of the anti-climate change lobby in the United States and elsewhere, because addressing climate change would directly contravene their interests, because climate change was a problem created and exacerbated in large part by capitalist property relations and the sort of the model of industrialization that prioritized growth and not sustainability. All that to say, climate change is actually really profitable for big companies. So they don't want the climate disaster to hit them necessarily, but they also don't want it to go away, because like if you solve the problem, you can't make money off the problem anymore. You know? Let's see. This is a very long and winding segment here. I don't think I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I might skip through because I'm only 3.5 minutes in, and this is a 17-minute video. Uh, let's see some of these headlines. Maybe he refers to some news headlines. I want to see if those are anything interesting. Ah, yeah, of course. These data centers would be all tax exempt. So they get to use 370,000 households worth of electricity. They get to use 40 soccer fields worth of land, and pay absolutely no taxes in doing so. Great, thanks, Google. Very, very cool. Oh, wait a minute. There's a government meeting that has some interesting quotes here. Apparently there was a debate in the Dutch legislature about this. Hold up. Sandra Beckerman, this is an MP. She says, is it desirable that we as a country start to use so much more electricity? And in this case, because of these data centers. Well, Chairman, if we collectively decide to use less data centers, this maybe would not be necessary. Yeah. But this is something that we do. Yeah, okay, why? I often see Miss Beckerman on her electronic media, so it is our behavior. What the fuck? He's like, yeah, well, if you want us to stop using data centers, maybe you should stop using your phone. Did you know that using your phone ever is literally the same as using the energy output of an entire wind farm of 80 windmills that was meant for 370,000 households worth of consumption? Curious. You claim to have critiques of society, and yet you participate in society. That's crazy. We are consumers of data centers. Yeah, you think we fucking choose that, dude? This guy's a snake. I can tell. We have data centers because we are consumers of data centers. Impeccable logic. Flawless. No notes. Why do we need them? Because we have them. Why do we have them? Because we need them. Fucking what? Make sure that they use... Yeah, he is. Yeah, I can tell by the way he's talking. Bro, this guy straight up said, dude, Dutch media is built different. The host literally said, fucking, Veebs acts like you were a total retard if you don't want us to build so many data centers. Fuck, he's so real for that. And yeah, the internet does need servers, but like, but not all of them have to be in the Netherlands, he says. That's true. Also, it's worth mentioning, right? This is a key thing about data centers in particular. These are not where the internet servers are, right? The servers that host the internet, maybe they are in the data centers, but that's not what the data centers are for. These data centers only started popping up once the data scraping really started. The internet is perfectly capable of existing on way fewer servers, way fewer server computers than are present in these data centers. You could probably... It would be very inefficient to do this because you want a lot of distribution points for the internet, but you could probably, with one data center, run the entire internet. The internet is a lot, but it's not that much. You know, like the main driving force behind these data centers is just you as the product, right? Where companies do all this data mining, they sell your information to who knows who else. They advertise to you, they get you to buy certain things with the advertisements that sort of activate the parts of your brain, whatever. You know, all that sort of stuff is what data centers are for. It is not for the essential services of modern internet infrastructure. That stuff, it requires way less energy. Believe it or not, the internet is way more efficient than any of these data centers. And you know why that is? It's because the internet was built with public money and public infrastructure. The internet was a United States government project to build an intra-network or like an interconnected network of government computers. And then that expanded over time. And initially it was a like completely public funded thing. And it was only when private companies got involved, when internet access was determined to be the purview of private entities, that the enshittification started. But even with that, the internet connectivity functions that we all rely on and recognize as a universally good utility don't even come fucking close to the kind of energy consumption and like server space required for these data centers and for this AI like information harvesting. This is going to be a long segment. I am going to make all this into a segment. This is too much good info to not include, I think. And of course, I apologize because only I can hear the audio here and only I can see the video that's going on. You guys are just going to have to deal with the screenshot of Flygon over here front and center. But look, I just don't want to get copyrighted is what's going on. With this policy... Here, hold on. Let me go back. Internet does need servers. All of them don't need to be in the Netherlands. We barely have enough space for our windmills to compensate our own energy usage. So why would we fill our holders with windmills for Google and Microsoft? That's true. That's actually a really good... it's a very good point. You know, that shit is like... It's just electricity that's going entirely down the drain. It's not being used for anything useful. With this policy, every wind park gets accompanied by a data center. Great. Since that'd be like solar panels all coming with their own gnome and air fryer, which would be pretty funny. Oh no! Here's a reminder: Vibis, I think that's how you pronounce that, is not only Minister of Economic Affairs, but also for climate. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me! You know, maybe we're just cooked. Every time I think, you know, maybe good things are possible. No, we're just cooked. So we're absolutely not going to reach our goals. Yeah, now more than ever, it seems pretty evident. You know the biggest windmills at Eiffel Tower Behemoth? Yeah, we need 700 of those only for our steel factory. Yeah, and not steel like metal. Steel as in we steal your data, sell it, etc., etc. Yeah. That's how news be nowadays. Yeah. I meant real steel. Oh. No, steel factories don't need that much energy. At least I don't think they do. I mean, maybe they need stuff for like hydraulic power. Um, how much? You know what? Let me look that up. How much energy does a steel plant use? 770 kilowatt hour per shipped ton of steel. Typical EAF consumption under 500 kilowatt hour per cast ton. Okay. Company is called Tata Steel, by the way. Oh, all right. Energy use in the steel industry. Wow, the US has whole, like, fucking fact sheets about this and stuff. That's interesting. Huh. This is too small for me to read, and I don't feel like putting on my glasses to look at a computer screen because that hurts my eyes. It's from September 2000. Regardless, you know what? Steel factories actually do something. Steel plants, steel mills, they actually produce metal that is useful for construction and other things. These factories of stealing your information don't do jack shit for society, except for eat up space. Look, with like 1/10 of the computer power that you would need for a data center, you could be doing so much better shit. But that doesn't get as much money, so they don't do it. Buy for 200 million the rights of the green energy oversupply of Denmark. I don't. So our polder is full of windmills. We lose about 660 million euros on subsidies. Great that they're subsidizing this. Awesome. Fucking up. We have to pay for extra certificates from Denmark, and all the value goes to a Swedish and American company. That's capitalism, folks. You get nothing, and you will enjoy it. Except not, actually. You'll be miserable, but you'll still get nothing. All the fucking wealth goes to somebody's pockets that you will never see, possibly never even hear about. Because they own a stake in some company somewhere that owns the thing that owns the other thing. This is all caused by 4 stakeholders who incite on each other, or who rely on each other, I guess. Multinational who wants to store its data. Okay. Best conclusion at the end of the situation. Instead of the song "That's Life," that's capitalism. Yeah, it is. In a socialist system, you don't have this. You don't have this problem of massive fucking data centers cropping up. Again, because all of this is shareholder interest. You think there's any purpose for a data center outside of harvesting information to get money? No, they don't serve a legitimate purpose other than that, right? Like these kind of massive, insanely energy consuming data centers, that's the only purpose that they serve, and the only thing that that's good for is sating the fucking money lust of the shareholders, because they just want the quarterly profits, and you can get those profits without doing anything useful to society. But if you're doing something useful to society, you won't necessarily get those insane profits. So if you remove the shareholders, if you remove the shareholders from that, you no longer have that distinct class of people. No more data center problems, because you don't need them, so you don't build them. Loki, want to clip that? No. Oh, you can do it, so feel free. Okay, yeah, so it's the cycle. You've got the data center companies, then the municipalities, then the Swedish company or whatever, and then the fucking Dutch government. And it's like there's a perpetual incestuous relationship between those. It's like, hey, we want to build windmills, and what do you say about the municipality? It was like, and oh yeah, they buy off the municipality somehow, and then the windmill company, the company that actually builds the windmills, comes in and is like, hey, it's expensive. And then the Dutch government is like, we'll subsidize it. And then they consume all the energy with the data centers. Are like, fuck, we got to build windmills again, and they just resume the cycle over and over. Yeah, infinite cycle to run your fucking energy infrastructure into the ground. Damn, this production quality. What? Wind park. Okay, and that's the video. Yeah. Good video. Good shit. And by the way, it's worth mentioning, I was talking about AI, and this video was back in 2020, before AI had become like a massive talking point in the political discourse. But that didn't mean it wasn't being used. A lot of the algorithms that are integral to AI, the like generative AI bullshit that we all know and hate, have actually been used for stuff other than like what's super visible. In fact, for the most part, it's used for invisible stuff like that telemetry, that manipulating search results, that boosting certain products and whatever. And then the more visible stuff with the Google AI that does the search for you but returns worse results, less correct results, and shunts the actual websites down to the bottom of the list. So this has been a problem for a while, and data centers. I'll reiterate, like data centers do not need to exist. They really don't. You know, you have what you know what you don't have to have that much server space for the internet to function as like as its purely useful components. Like without the all the marketing fluff and data harvesting fluff, you can run that pretty easily. Like with 1/10 of the server infrastructure that data centers have. That was his last subject for the latest episode. Oh, really? That's cool. But yeah, Dutch viewers eating good today. Uh, now cut that segment for real for sure this time. It's gonna be a long segment. But seriously, this if there's any issue that you should start talking about regulating, it's got to be this. The use of AI and data centers for all this data mining shit is going to plunge the world into like another energy crisis, you know? And it's going to be even fucking worse than the energy crisis in the 1970s. So, good segment. That was some good shit. I didn't expect to have that much energy today, because I was busy this morning, but yeah, pretty good. Let's see, June 26th. All right, I'm gonna have to keep that window open too, so I can maybe provide some screenshots. I want to ask what makes the stream so good that you put it on YouTube. Oh yeah, I think I know the stream you're talking about. Let me go look at it real quick, just to remind myself. And let me re-enable the desktop audio now. Go to videos. Another stream that was so good I had to make it public. What did I talk about during this one? Oh yeah, I put timestamps. That should be able to tell me. Not to be mean, but this windmill is feeling so cold. Oh, yeah, you're making fun of me for not having air conditioning. I see. It's all good. Timestamps. Mask of Rain. Pokemon Art. Typing. Columbia halting core exports. Psyshock. I think it was just that my thoughts were very well ordered and coherent that stream and stuff like that. You remember the stream where we talked mostly about like the BBB and how the far right pretends to be populist in order to gain power, but they don't actually care. They have to lie the whole time. It's the same kind of thing that made that stream especially enjoyable because it was like I felt like I was just on my shit. I was, I was just going and knew exactly what I was talking about pretty much at every turn. And I think I was able to transition relatively smoothly between the more political topics and then the game related topics as well. It was a stream where I had a really, really good time. And I felt like it was infectious enough that I wanted to share that with other people on my YouTube channel. So that's what's up. Gotcha. Yeah. And this guy didn't. I'm remembering now. This guy didn't have any good TMs. Talking about your YouTube channel, been watching some more of your vids. Oh yeah, I had to go like accelerate my upload schedule to get all those out there, because I had a lot of stuff on the back burner. I had to go pretty hard in the editing there. In fact, there's another thing I have on the back burner about I think the Walmart thing. That's all I can do for this this area. Let's go to the next trainer. It's going to be either fighting or rock type, so I should probably have Roselia out first. Unless... No, you don't have Play Rough. Why didn't I teach you Play Rough? Okay, I'm silly. Lunatone. I feel like I could probably get away with not having Roselia out for every single... Okay, never mind. I am wrong. I am very wrong. I could Well, he's probably gonna have, what's that move? Woodhammer, but I got away with that somehow. Oh, they don't give you revives. I was thinking. No! Fuck you. God damn it. Greatly. Silly bitch. Nose pass. Okay. You defeated that gym leader. All well and good. Interesting to see which vids have the most views and interesting comments. Yeah. I disabled notifications for when people comment on my videos and stuff. Because, like, half of the people that comment are just bots anyway. You know, when I get comments. And then sometimes I'll check the video manually just because I want to see how a video performs on a given topic relative to something else. Because it's not like I've, you know, talk about anything I don't want to talk about, but it's like, obviously some stuff gets more traction. And then, I think also, okay, this is really funny. You remember that video where I reacted to Just a Robot? I apparently his fans hate brigaded my video, which is incredibly funny. Because it's like, wow, how the mighty have fallen, I guess. You know, my man's had, like, 100,000 subscribers or something, and he's reduced to fucking name searching for no-name YouTube channels that mention him. So I was like, man, that's probably the best victory I could have ever gotten from that video, is the guy that I called a retard saying that you just don't get it. And I was like, yeah, I don't, because you're retarded and you make no sense. But yeah, as a result of that, I think that was like the most commented on video. I was getting a lot of notifications for comments on that video, so I just turned off notifications for comments. So like, okay. And I think it served me pretty well since as well. Yeah. It was pretty funny though when it was happening. There was like, no way, this guy actually pulled his fans to, like, go and watch me, or his fans are so starved for content that they're searching for his name on YouTube or something. Oh well, but yeah, I don't want to dwell too much on that. In fact, I feel like if there was a video I wanted to remake, if I could redo a video, I might want to redo that one because I feel like I could make my thoughts more succinct. And honestly, I have an answer now to, like, was I too charitable? Was I not charitable enough? I was way too fucking charitable to that asshole. He genuinely, like, misrepresented every single movie he talked about. You couldn't, like, I couldn't trust him. I trusted him more than I should have to give an accurate summation of the events that occur in the movies that he's talking about. I gave him a little bit of benefit of the doubt because some of them were movies that I hadn't seen. And so I kind of conceded that, okay, XYZ event that he's talking about occurs in the movie. That's not the case. He just straight up lied about shit that happened in those movies. Because I read up about those movies afterwards, and the shit that he described, like, I looked for it, it didn't happen. At least not the way that he said it did. Especially for Spider-Man, it was, like, kind of sus, because he didn't go into any detail about what actually occurs in the movie. He gave very, very general plot beats, and misunderstood the entire point of the movie. And I think that should have been I think that should have been a much bigger red flag to me, that he's not going to honestly represent the content of any of the movies on the list. And honestly, I think my strongest refutation against him was when he started talking about The Force Awakens, because, like, it's so done to death that I know almost all of the talking points that people go to with The Force Awakens. There are reasons to criticize that movie, but nobody ever fucking picks those reasons when they're making a video essay about how the sequels are bad. At least they didn't back in the day, in, you know, the 2015 to 18 sort of era. I've seen people make good critiques of the sequels, and I've heard people make good critiques of the sequels. I'm friends with some of those people that I'm thinking of. But this guy is absolutely not one of them. Anyways, in fact, if anything, I'm a little bit frustrated with myself for being too charitable towards that guy, because he has no media literacy. You know, I shouldn't have I should have been more resolute on the, I just can't engage with this because I don't believe he's representing anything honestly here. Like, there's nothing to say because he's not saying anything. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like if there's any video that I wanted to review, it would be that video by Just a Robot. I might want to make another react to that, but I think the opportunity for that has come and gone. I don't really want to beat a dead horse there. And ultimately, I don't think my arguments would change all that much. I think I would just be meaner. You know? And I can just as easily save that for another day for another YouTuber. You know? I want to find a Pokemon that I can use. I guess I'll catch Pinsir. You know, if anything, I feel like I am much more proud of how the debate react held up between Haas and Trevor Loudon. You remember that fucking long-ass debate that I watched and made into, like, basically a 5.5 hour long video? I think I did a really good job with my rhetoric and my arguments in that video. Like, I think if you want to get a view into what I believe in juxtaposition to two of the most insane people on the planet, like, that video is a good place to start. Not that I would recommend anybody watch a full 5.5 hour video, of course, you know. But, you know, sometimes you just go down that YouTube rabbit hole. You see where it takes you. Anywho. Now, the one other major news item that I wanted to cover. This will be the last thing, I think. It's the namesake of the stream, which is the Democratic Party posted some fucking cringe. I've said some positive things about the Democratic Party before, but those positive things do not in any way, shape, or form apply to the United States Northeast. There are a lot of people who make erroneous criticisms of the Democratic Party at large. All of those criticisms apply 100% to the Democratic Party in the state of New York. Every negative thing that you could say about the Democrats is true in New York City. Like, every talking point I've heard about the Democrats, that they're the same as Republicans, that they'll just as soon throw minorities under the bus, that they're just as captured by the interests of, like, giant capital, that in some cases it almost doesn't matter who you vote for because you're still just going to get tax cuts either way. All of that shit is false everywhere else, but it's true in New York. Trust me when I say that. It is so, like, the Democratic Party in New York is so thoroughly fucking infested with old money that, like, you have zero parties of the working class, except for maybe the Working Families Party. You go to the inner city, there are some progressive Democrats there. You know, you got your AOCs, your Jamal Bowmans, and stuff like that. But that's what I wanted to touch on, actually. Unfortunately, Jamal Bowman, who is a progressive Democrat, kind of like a social democrat or socialist politician equivalent in Europe, he lost his primary election to George Latimer, who is a literal segregationist, by the way. And this was following him getting elected in 2020, I believe. Bowman got elected in 2020, and was re-elected in 2022, I think. You know, the reason he lost this time is because of a little thing that we call gerrymandering. The problem that everybody and their fucking mom knows about with America, and justifiably so. His district, when he was elected, his district was mostly drawn for areas of the Bronx. It included a little bit of the outlying suburbs, but largely it was like the city, right? But in 2020, the census happened, or I think maybe in 2022, in one of those years, I think it was after he was elected and like reelected one time, the districts were actually redrawn, and so his district now is mostly in Westchester County, which is an outlying suburb of New York City. And when I say outlying suburb, I mean it's a fucking like it's a gigantic hub of mansions and wealth in New York City. Like, some of the houses there are worth like $10 million. Like, it is not cheap to live over there. That's the kind of wealth you got. And those people don't vote for progressives. Those are the fucking limousine liberals that everybody hates. Everybody. Nobody fucking likes limousine liberals. Right? And so they voted for George Latimer. And it also is quite noteworthy that the election was like 40% to 60%. Bowman got 40% and Latimer got 60%. It took a favorable redistricting and fucking $20 million of AIPAC money just to unseat Jamal Bowman. So I, unfortunately, with my donation, with what little I did to support the the Bowman campaign or whatever, he ran a pretty decent campaign. I couldn't make the $25 million difference, but I think there's a silver lining to be found either way, that like it takes so much astroturfing to replace a genuine grassroots progressive candidate, because the honest truth of it is just that like progressive policy is a lot more compelling to the majority of people than conservative policy making, And the reason I bring up the Democratic Party as well is because of the institutional factors that were at play in this election. Now, the DCCC, institution that my dad used to work at, so I have some insider knowledge of the Democratic Party. Thank you. It is 30 years old, insider knowledge, but you take what you can get. It is the DCCC is the entity that does campaign funding for Congress, for the legislature, right? You have the DCCC and the DSCC. Those are in charge of like getting Democrats reelected and financing the campaigns and stuff, because we don't have publicly financed campaigns. The DCCC sandbagged Jamal Bowman. They didn't give him any money, even though he's an incumbent candidate. And that's because the candidate who was running against it was an AIPAC candidate. AIPAC being the America-Israel Public Affairs Committee or something, which nominally represent pro-Israel interests, but really they represent far-right interests. A lot of the people they endorse, most of the work that they do is not, niche lobbying specific to Israel. It's ousting progressive candidates, ousting social democrats, and getting the far right elected, right? AIPAC donates a lot of money to the far right and their political campaigns. There are a lot of far right billionaires who are affiliated with AIPAC. There were far right billionaires funding a Democratic primary race to unseat a social democrat, which is not common in the United States. Not super common anyway. Meanwhile, Democrats are over here pretending that AIPAC is some sort of nonpartisan pro-Israel group. They are entirely partisan. They're far-right monsters, basically. I had the craziest manhunt game ever. What would you say, Westchester? Yes, Westchester County is like the conservative outlying suburb of New York City, right next to the Bronx. Jamal Bowman's district was mostly the Bronx when he was elected and re-elected, but then this time the district had been redrawn to include more of Westchester County, which is where all the Hitlerite Homeowners Association people live. So the stage was really set for him to lose the election. And even then, it took $20 million just for one primary race to unseat him. And that's because AIPAC has a vested interest in seeing the far right succeed. They are a far right organization, political organization funded by far right billionaires that have donated a lot of money to the GOP, the far right political party. And in this case, they got a far right Democrat elected. This is like it's, you know how the Social Democratic Party in the Czech Republic or in Portugal is actually part of the far right bloc. Imagine that, but for like one candidate. You have most of the Social Democrat MPs, and then one MP in the Social Democratic Party is just a Nazi or something. It's kind of like that, but in the United States. This guy is a conservative. He's a segregationist, which means he thinks that black people and white people shouldn't live together in an integrated society. He just has the Social Democratic label next to his name. Is what's going on there. But here's an interesting silver lining to that, right? It took $20 million, and honestly, I think that it's not going to last. George Latimer performed really fucking poorly in the debates. I watched a couple of the debates that Jamal Bowman did against George Latimer, and if there's anything that Bowman succeeded at, it is appealing to people's sense of passion, right? Nobody can argue that Jamal Bowman is not an impassioned advocate for the things he believes in, because he sincerely believes in them. He is that impassioned advocate. He did a really good job of coming across that way. Usually, you want to save that for your activism, or when you're in office, not when you're running a campaign. But this time, there were some special circumstances. George Latimer is like an incredibly shiftless dude, doesn't really believe in anything, right? So people are going to remember that Jamal Bowman does believe in stuff, and George Latimer is a fucking grifter. In the county Westchester, West from Chester, who lives with his Western Worcester, was wasting chest worse as Chester's Worcester sauces. Maybe. I mean, that's a solid maybe. You know? But yeah, George Latimer looked pretty bad on the debate stage, I gotta say. It's possible that some of my bias is playing into that, but ultimately I think I'm justified in saying that he performed pretty poorly in the debates. Say Worcester again, I dare you. That's how you spelled it the second time. Oh wait, you spelled that both times. It's Worcester. Yeah. I gotta switch this guy as fuck. So clearly George Latimer doesn't perform super well when the cameras are on him, when the public eye is on him, when there's scrutiny. And he's about to go into the national legislature, whereupon there will be 2 years of scrutiny on him from the public eye, particularly from this constituency. And hopefully that'll sink his election chances next time. Because I think people in New York deserve to have somebody more like Bowman representing them. Somebody who's an impassioned advocate for social democratic policies and who cares about, like, grassroots policymaking and the interests of the working class. I believe Bowman was actually one of the candidates that the Working Families Party fielded. The Working Families Party is like a socialist party in the United States, but they don't have an actual party. You know, it's a two-party system, so the Working Families Party usually fields candidates that work with the Democratic Party. You know, they're part of that bloc. But this is one of the reasons why I fucking hate the Democratic Party, because they're willing to let this guy win, who's clearly a plant from the far right, because he has a D next to his name, and he doesn't upset the fucking interests of the capital class, which inherently lean fascist, of course. I'm tempted to say New York is a special case, but it really isn't. There are other states that act like this. It's pretty fucking dumb, not gonna lie. Blacksmith, I don't really care about that. I'm kind of being lazy with how I'm playing this game because I'm probably done with this run anyways. Yeah, I'm just gonna retire this run. I'll save my progress, sure. Alright, cool. Democratic Party continuing to show themselves to be the party of the white moderate, at least in the state of New York, especially. And to a lesser extent, they are like this everywhere. That's part of the problem with having a liberal party in charge, is that they're like, there's only so much that they will be willing to accept because they still ultimately have to be compatible with the interests of the capital class. That's why so much in the United States get framed from the perspective of business owners. You know, partisan media is absolutely a thing. There's media that aligns with the Democratic Party and there's a media that aligns with the Republican Party. Washington Post aligns with the Democratic Party, but that's part of the problem. Like the ideology that I refer to in the Washington Post article that I was reading earlier, where it was like everything that they were doing was like sucking off the tech CEOs and like deferring to their interests and like, oh, they're the best and brightest. They're leading us into a technological revolution. That's the prevailing mindset at the Democratic Party too, at least among the politicians there. I can't speak as much for the staffers, who are the people really running things, by the way. But you know, it's clear that like liberalism is a brainworm. It is in fact the moderate wing of fascism. Uh, you know, there are different versions of that phrase. Moderate wing of fascism. Scratch a liberal, a fascist bleeds. Uh, you know, liberals are just conservatives who haven't gotten mugged yet. Something like that, right? Whatever your choice of phrase is, that applies here because they were more willing to support a fascist um, in the Democratic primary than they were an incumbent social democrat. Uh, you know, and he did say some things that indicate that he's not willing to fully commit to the bit of like being just like the Republicans, but ultimately I think that like him being a grifter and being as shiftless as he is, George Latimer being as shiftless as he is, I'm comfortable calling him a fascist because of the people that he works with routinely and the people he's more comfortable to attacking. He might be a fascist of convenience rather than a fascist of ideological conviction, but a fascist of convenience is still a fascist. But anyways, that's my spiel. That isn't going to be a segment, but the other thing is. I don't know how smart that is from a content perspective. I just feel like my thoughts were better organized there. I'm gonna have to do some note taking and whatever to get more content pilled between now and next stream. This is probably gonna be the last stream of Pokemon Emerald Rogue. Uh, I've greatly appreciated the people who stuck around for this. And you know, it was fun while I had it, while I did it. But you know, I might even go back to Mario Kart. Who knows? Want to find something that I can play that people will watch, but also that won't like massively tire me out. And maybe that's Mario Kart. In fact, I think it is. It probably will be. Um, let's go find somebody to raid. Cody Schwab. Ah, yes. Cody Schwab is playing I believe, a first to 5 exhibition set against Zane. Both of them are playing Smash Ultimate this time. Zane decided to poison his brain by playing Smash Bros. Ultimate for a whole month. So let's check it out. Not Minecraft? No, probably not Minecraft, honestly. Because whatever game I play on stream, I typically don't play it that much off stream. And I've been having a lot of fun with Minecraft off stream. So it'd be kind of awkward to go back and forth. Anyways. I'll see you guys next time.